Hello and welcome to a very special conversation here on WION with one of the greats of world cricket. India's cricket carnival begins later this week and we are building up to the IPL. I'm Digvijay Singhdeo and joining me from Mumbai is Anil Kumble, former Indian captain. He's also the chairman of the ICC's cricket committee and the director of cricket operations for the Punjab Kings. Anil, always a pleasure being able to speak to you. We live in strange times and for the first time, second edition of an IPL within 6 months. But from a coaching perspective, does it give a massive sense of continuity?
Yeah, thanks Digvijay. It's wonderful to be a part of this. Yes, it does give you some sort of continuity. As you're aware, last year was the first time that I got involved with this team, and we, the entire support staff was new, the captain was new, to get to know the team, and I thought we had a really good campaign. Unfortunately, the points table doesn't reflect that, but we sort of did really well as a unit, and to have this competition again within a span of 6 months, it doesn't seem like we've been away from each other. So when I met the players who sort of came from last year to this year, the retained players, it felt as though we had not left the bubble at all.
Okay, you spoke about the bubble, so I'll get you on that because you're also the head of the ICC Cricket Committee and there has been a lot of chat about bubble life in recent weeks. As a franchise and as a leadership unit, how do you sort of ensure that players stay relaxed considering that some of them have been part of bubbles leading up to the IPL?
See, for the first time we got into a bubble last year for the first time in the IPL. For everyone it was the first time. It was very different last year because as you're aware, for 6 months nobody had sort of done anything. They were at home, locked down, no access to facilities, no access to training. So when we started last year, it was new to all of us. So we had to tread really, really carefully in terms of understanding what it takes to be a part of this. And I think there were a lot of learnings from the experience that we had. The players are used to it. Obviously they are very anxious. You need to make sure that they are in the right space. It's not normal, where we don't get to meet anyone else outside of people who are in the bubble. But having said that, what we have done as a leadership unit as this year is to engage with a sports psychologist who's a part of our squad, and over the last 2 weeks that we've been a part of this bubble. The first week, of course, we were in quarantine, in isolation, in our respective rooms, and post that we've been on the ground. So it's been of great help interacting with him, having a few team chats, and also individually connecting with him. So it's wonderful to have that experience and the expertise within the group. So that is something that we wanted to address, and I'm glad that we have a professional on board. And the other aspect, from the learnings of last year, was that we had to engage the players socially as well. I mean, it's important that you sort of build a nice camaraderie and have fun at the end of it. Yes, cricket is one part, but meeting socially amongst ourselves, because that's all we have. We only have the squad and the support team with us, so we need to interact with each other quite a bit. So we have created some entertainment zones within the bio bubble that we have at the hotel, and we've had competitions, some fun competitions. Last year, I'm sure you all were witness to a few. We still have the universe boss Chris Gale in quarantine, so as soon as he comes out of the quarantine, I'm sure the entertainment quotient will obviously go up. So we are really looking forward to having those fun activities as well, which has already started. I mean, there's a team room with multiple indoor games which the players are engaged in, and it's just a bit of fun. And I think it's important that you need to create that kind of an environment where they don't feel the pressures of being isolated from the family and from everyone else.
Right. You spoke about adaptation, but how does the team sort of adapt, Anil, to this new cluster caravan concept? You obviously make your plans at the auction knowing that you are playing in India, and then you are told that you aren't playing at your home base, which is Mohali. In fact, no home advantage for any team in the IPL. So for all practical purposes, you could still be playing in Dubai.
Yeah, I think, last year was a bit of a challenge because I think when we sort of sat at the auction the previous year, we all knew that, we would be playing the IPL in India in April and May, but nobody had seen Corona or nobody had seen the COVID, coming through in our lives like this, the pandemic. So last year was really tough because nobody expected it. But this year, I think when we sat down or started thinking about the auction, we sort of understood what the gaps could be, what the gaps are, and it's a small auction as well. You don't have access, or the players that you have are limited, and all the franchises will want to fill their voids and whatever gaps that they want to fill with the availability of the players, etc. So I think, yes, we've done pretty well. We knowing fully well that it may not be at our home ground like a normal IPL, because I think we all understand that till the world comes back into its normalcy, hopefully soon, this is the new normal where we have to live in a bio bubble and then play wherever we can, and so we sort of kept all bases covered. I mean, that was the idea. The idea was to, yes, of course, fill the gaps that we require, but at the same time make sure that we have enough experience with the batting, plus some firepower in the bowling, and make sure that we have some young, exciting talent who are X factors, who could be game changers, and that's something that we wanted to focus on.
Right.
So I think overall, you pick a squad, not worrying too much about where you're going to play. You want them to adapt to any condition, and that's the kind of squad that you want to choose from. And we are happy with the existing squad, and I'm really happy with the way things have come along so far.
There's a lot of chatter at the auctions about Punjab letting go of Glenn Maxwell, but for me the really intriguing one was Riley Meredith. You have spent big on two pacers, which Jai Richardson also bought, and and sort of, as you said, gives you firepower in the batting, gives you firepower in the bowling as well. Lots of other all-rounders thrown in as well.
No, I think the people sort of tend to discuss the actual money spent on a particular player, whether that particular player is actually that valuable. I think in the overall scheme of things, like I mentioned, it was a small auction where the interest on one particular player or two particular players would be more than two or three franchises wanting that particular player. So like I mentioned, we wanted to create some sort of a option for us to have firepower and some pace, and that's why we looked at Riley Meredith, and we believe that somebody of his pace, raw pace, somebody who can bowl at consistently more than 145 kilometers per hour, we felt that that's something that we wanted as an option. Yes, when you look at the money spent, you sort of think, oh, he hasn't played for Australia at that point in time. Why are they spending so much? Like I mentioned, in a small auction, it's very difficult to gauge the actual value that goes into picking a player. Jai Richardson, we felt that he could obviously give us. Shami is our lead bowler, and if he can get someone bowling in difficult periods like the power play, middle overs, and also at the death, and he's useful with the bat as well. And like I said, we were looking at young players to come in and be a part of the squad. See, sometimes you sort of pick players from the auction looking at this year, but you may also want to keep your mind for the following year as well. We don't know what the rules are going to be, but I think it's important to keep that kind of a vision for the future as well. So we felt Jai, with his ability to swing the ball, bowl at pace, will be able to pick up wickets in the power play and of course at the death. So those two will certainly add a lot of value to the already good pace attack that we have, and the experience of Shami and Chris Jordan, along with some of the Indian youngsters who have done exceptionally well in domestic cricket. Last year, Arshdeep was really good for us. Porel and Darshan have been really good at the domestic level. So we believe that we have a good bowling unit that we can sort of rotate and make sure that no skills. We lack we don't lack much skills in the 20 overs that we're going to play.
Yes, you spoke about the bowling, but when the auction was on, I said it at that point. I'm saying it now, to get David Malan at his brace price seems an absolute steal. I was just going through your list of overseas players, and you clearly are going to have a welcome selection headache, trying to get the best four into the team. You have Gale, who you mentioned, you have Nicholas Puran, you have Malan, you have Meredith, Jordan, Jai, and then the all-rounders, Moises Henriquez, Fabian Allen. So that's a welcome headache.
Yeah, it is. It's a good thing to have. Like I said, Digvijay, it's all about having your options. Not necessary that all of them will play all the matches. It's very difficult to have that. What we needed was some experience in the all-round department. Somebody who's played here before, somebody who's been a part of winning teams. I mean, Moses brings that experience to the squad. Fabian, again, is an exciting young all-rounder from West Indies. We all know the power hitting that they bring to the table, and in this format, he's done exceptionally well. He's a young all-rounder, so it's nice to have him based on conditions. Obviously, he's a very good left-arm spinner, and then really hits the ball hard. And David Malan, with his experience and somebody, like I mentioned, to have an option in the batting lineup who can sort of give support to the Indian batters that we have. So we wanted a steady, someone who you can depend on, and then the firepower of Chris Gale, Nicholas Puran, and Fabian Allen. As a foreign option for us, plus Moises and David Malan sort of give you the comfort of them really being the KL Rahul mold. So I think that's the kind of options that we wanted. We're really glad that we got those, and we also wanted a young Indian power hitting batsman. Like a Shah Rukh Khan. I'm really excited about, he really hits the ball hard, and we wanted to look at that. It's good to have him as well in the squad. Like I mentioned, it's all about having all bases covered, and I think we have a pretty strong, squad to choose from.
Yes, earlier on, Anil, you did say that how the results didn't sort of show how good your team played, and just looking at the points table from the last time, it was pretty close, with just one win separating 6 teams in the race for the playoffs. Are you expecting another close race this time as well, considering the teams have strengthened what they think were their grey areas or what was lacking in the last IPL?
No, IPL is such a tournament where till the last match is played, you don't know who the top 4 are going to be. So, maybe top 1 or 2 may get decided by the last match. But generally, if you look at the history of IPL over the last, at least the recent past, till the last match is played, you don't know where your position is. Last year, I thought we really had a good squad. We started off really well. We were a bit unlucky in some of the, I thought, kind of cricket we played. I didn't mean the points table, but then I thought the kind of cricket that we played at the beginning of the IPL was really, really solid. Unfortunately, the results didn't go away. A couple of close calls, super overs, I thought we were the most exciting team in the IPL because we played a lot more super overs or created that kind of an environment, close finish, irrespective of how we sort of were in chasing a target. So yes, like you said, we came really, really close, and I was really proud of the team with the way we bounced back after six losses. You know, one out of seven, and then to win five in a row. And yes, we sort of fell short towards the end, but that's the IPL. But really proud of the way we played. We were that close to qualifying, and we believe that all IPLs are going to be tough. All the eight teams are equally balanced. And like you said, the conditions are going to be, I mean, you can say neutral, but, I think most of the players have played in all these venues, the four venues that we are going to play in. All the players have played there. We know the conditions. So, yes, you can call them neutral, but the conditions are probably the same for both teams. So, all the players understand that.
Yes, it's a new start for you as well next Monday. Thank you so much, Anil, for your time. Really look forward to these conversations with you and sort of patting myself on the back for finally being able to convince you to do this. Wishing you and your team a really successful and safe IPL, and looking forward to, as you said, a lot of entertainment from the Punjab Kings.
Thank you. Thank you so much.